Dear Chosen One, have you ever felt the sting of betrayal so deep it seemed to pierce your very soul? That moment when someone you trusted, perhaps a friend, a family member, or even a spiritual leader turned against you, leaving you wounded and questioning everything? I want you to know that your pain has purpose, your tears have meaning, your struggle is not in vain. Take a moment right now to hit that like button if you've ever experienced betrayal and wondered where God was in that moment. I remember standing in my kitchen, hands trembling as I read the message that changed everything. Someone I had mentored, someone I had poured my life into for years, had not only walked away but had spread falsehoods about me throughout our community. The shock gave way to anger, then to a deep, aching grief that seemed to have no bottom. Perhaps you're nodding right now because you know exactly what that feels like. But what if I told you that the very people who hurt you, those who betrayed you, abandoned you, or spoke against you, were actually part of God's master plan for your life? What if their actions, though painful, were divinely permitted to position you for a purpose beyond what you could have imagined? If you're ready to discover how God uses even your deepest wounds to fulfill His divine purpose in your life, type, "I'm ready," in the comments below. The ancient prophet Isaiah declared a powerful truth. No weapon formed against you will succeed. Think about that. Every scheme, every plot, every betrayal launched against you is ultimately powerless against God's purpose for your life. The arrows may fly, but they cannot derail your destiny when you are chosen by God. You see, being chosen isn't about being perfect. It's about being purposeful. It's not about being flawless, but about being faithful. And sometimes, the path to your purpose runs directly through the valley of betrayal. Joseph understood this truth. Sold into slavery by his own brothers, imprisoned on false charges, and forgotten by those he helped, yet he eventually stood before them and declared that what they intended for harm, God transformed into good. Their betrayal was the very vehicle that delivered him to his destiny. If you're struggling to forgive someone who hurt you, press pause right now and take a deep breath. This message could be the key to unlocking your freedom and stepping into your divine purpose. Today, we're going to explore why forgiveness isn't just a spiritual suggestion, it's the secret weapon of the chosen ones. We'll discover how releasing those who wounded you isn't about excusing their actions, but about freeing yourself from the prison of bitterness. And most importantly, we'll learn how to recognize that even those who hurt you were playing a role in God's greater plan for your life. Before we continue, make sure you subscribe to The Chosen Pathsy and hit that notification bell, because this message is just the beginning of a journey that will transform how you view your trials and tribulations. Are you ready to discover why you must forgive them because they were part of God's plan? Let's begin this journey together. Dear Chosen One, when God selects you, it's never random. It's always intentional. Throughout history, He has handpicked individuals not for their perfection, but for their potential to fulfill His divine purposes. If you believe God has specifically chosen you for something special, drop an "I know" in the comments right now. Consider the nation of Israel. God didn't select them because they were the largest or most powerful nation. In fact, they were quite the opposite, small, insignificant by worldly standards. Yet God declared them His treasured possession. Why? Not because of their merit, but because of His mercy. Not because of their performance, but because of His purpose. This pattern continues throughout the sacred texts. Moses, a man with a speech impediment and a criminal past, chosen to lead a nation to freedom. David, the overlooked shepherd boy, selected to become king. Esther, an orphan and a foreigner, positioned to save her people from genocide. Each of these individuals faced opposition, betrayal, and hardship. Each encountered people who seemed determined to block their path. Yet in retrospect, we can see how even their adversaries served as instruments in God's grand design. Take a moment to reflect. Who has opposed you on your journey? Type their initials in the comments. We'll be praying for your strength to forgive them by the end of this message. The divine selection extends to you today. The Apostle Peter reminds us that we are a chosen people, a royal priesthood, a holy nation, God's special possession. This isn't spiritual flattery, it's your fundamental identity. You weren't chosen because you came to God. You came to God because you were chosen. Your selection was settled in eternity, long before you drew your first breath. Before the foundation of the world, your name was known, your purpose was established, and your path, including every painful detour, was mapped out. If this truth is resonating in your spirit right now, hit that like button and share this video with someone who needs to be reminded of their chosen status. But here's where many stumble. Being chosen doesn't mean being shielded from pain. In fact, it often means the opposite. The chosen ones frequently face the fiercest opposition because their purpose carries the greatest potential impact. Those who betrayed you, those who abandoned you, those who spoke against you, they weren't random obstacles. They were divinely permitted challenges designed to shape you, strengthen you, and ultimately showcase God's power through your life. Before we move into understanding your divine identity, take a screenshot of this moment as a reminder. Your selection by God includes everything you've experienced, even the painful parts. Are you beginning to see how even your betrayers fit into God's master plan for your life? Let's continue our journey. Dear Chosen One, your identity isn't determined by what others say about you, or even what you say about yourself. It's established by what God declares over you. Understanding this truth is the foundation for walking in forgiveness toward those who have wounded you. If you're ready to embrace your true identity as God's chosen vessel, type "I accept" in the comments below. There's a profound difference between being called and being chosen. Many receive the call and the invitation to step into purpose, but fewer embrace the process that confirms their chosen status. The call is the invitation. Being chosen is the divine appointment that follows your yes to God. How do you recognize your chosen status? Look for these signs in your life. First, you face unique opposition. The enemy doesn't waste resources attacking those who pose no threat to his kingdom. Your battles are often confirmation of your calling. Second, you experience supernatural provision in impossible situations. When doors close unexpectedly, new ones open that you couldn't have engineered yourself. Third, you feel a persistent pull toward a purpose larger than yourself, a divine discontent with mediocrity, and a hunger for meaningful impact. Pause right now and ask yourself, which of these signs have I experienced? Share your answer in the comments to encourage others on this journey. With this chosen identity comes tremendous responsibility. You weren't selected for status, but for service. Your wounds weren't permitted for your destruction, but for your development. Every tear you've shed is being collected. Every pain you've endured is being repurposed. I think of Jeremiah, known as the weeping prophet, rejected by his own people, imprisoned for speaking truth, witnessing the destruction of everything he loved, yet God had told him, "Before I formed you in the womb, I knew you. Before you were born, I set you apart." His identity remained secure despite his circumstances. If you're feeling rejected or misunderstood right now, place your hand on your heart and declare, "I am chosen by God for a divine purpose that transcends my current circumstances." When you truly grasp your chosen identity, forgiveness becomes possible because you recognize a powerful truth. Those who hurt you cannot define you. Their actions against you cannot derail God's purpose for you. In fact, their opposition often accelerates your journey toward your destiny. Before we explore the painful path that chosen ones often walk, take a moment to subscribe to The Chosen Paths if you haven't already. We're building a community of chosen ones who support each other through every season. Are you beginning to see yourself through God's eyes rather than through the lens of betrayal? Let's continue. Dear Chosen One, the path of the chosen is rarely smooth. It's often marked by unexpected turns, steep climbs, and valleys so deep you wonder if you'll ever see daylight again. Yet these difficult passages aren't detours, they're the actual route to your destiny. If you've ever felt that your path has been unnecessarily difficult, give this video a thumbs up. You're not alone in this journey. Throughout history, those chosen by God have walked through fire. Joseph endured betrayal by his brothers, false accusations, and years of imprisonment before his dreams were fulfilled. Daniel faced lions. Esther risked her life. Paul endured beatings, shipwrecks, and constant opposition. These weren't punishments, they were preparation. The painful reality is that chosen ones often face unique forms of opposition that others don't experience. The greater your calling, the greater the resistance you'll encounter. The more significant your future impact, the more intense your current trials may be. Why does God allow this? Because diamonds require pressure. Gold requires fire. Leaders require testing. Your capacity to handle blessing is directly proportional to your ability to endure hardship with your character intact. Take a moment right now to reflect. What trial are you currently facing that might actually be preparation for your purpose? Share your situation in the comments so our community can lift you up in prayer. When someone betrays you, they're often unknowingly participating in your development process. They're playing a role in the divine drama of your life, a role that God will use to showcase His power and your perseverance. Consider David. Before he faced Goliath, he faced the disdain of his own brothers. Before he sat on the throne, he ran for his life from Saul, the very man who should have mentored him. These painful relationships weren't accidents. They were appointments that developed the character needed to lead a nation. The opposition you face today is developing the strength you'll need tomorrow. The rejection you feel now is preparing you for the responsibility you'll carry later. The wounds inflicted by others are creating capacity for compassion that will make your ministry authentic and powerful. If you're in a season of painful preparation right now, place your hand on your heart and declare, "This pain has purpose. This struggle is shaping me. This opposition is actually an opportunity." Remember, your painful path isn't punishment, it's preparation. Your trials aren't random, they're strategic. And the people who have hurt you weren't outside of God's control. They were permitted to play a role in developing your character for a calling that requires uncommon strength. Before we explore how forgiveness becomes your divine response to those who've hurt you, take a screenshot of this moment as a reminder that your painful path is actually your preparation for purpose. Are you beginning to see how even your most painful experiences are being woven into your testimony? Let's continue our journey together. Dear chosen one, forgiveness isn't just a suggestion for the spiritually mature. It's the essential response of the divinely chosen. It's not merely a gift you give to others. It's the key that unlocks your own prison door. If you're struggling to forgive someone right now, type freedom in the comments. Acknowledging the need is the first step toward breakthrough. The ultimate example of forgiveness comes from Jesus Himself. Hanging on the cross, betrayed, abandoned, mocked, and tortured, He uttered words that still echo through eternity. "Father, forgive them, for they don't know what they're doing." In His moment of greatest agony, He chose forgiveness over vengeance. This wasn't weakness, it was divine strength. It wasn't surrender to His enemies. It was submission to a higher purpose that transformed the very instrument of His suffering into the symbol of salvation for all humanity. Your capacity to forgive reveals your understanding of God's sovereignty. When you truly believe that God is in control, you can release those who hurt you, knowing they were merely instruments in a divine plan larger than their intentions. Pause this video right now and ask yourself, am I holding on to unforgiveness that's blocking my blessing? If so, make a commitment in the comments to begin your forgiveness journey today. Unforgiveness creates blockages in your spiritual life that no amount of prayer, worship, or service can bypass. It's like drinking poison and expecting someone else to get sick. It's like locking yourself in a cell and expecting your offender to serve the sentence. The connection between forgiveness and freedom cannot be overstated. When you forgive, you're not saying what happened was okay. You're saying, "I refuse to carry this burden any longer. I refuse to allow your actions to determine my future. I choose freedom over resentment." Here are practical steps to forgive those who were part of God's plan. First, acknowledge the full extent of your hurt without minimizing it. Bring it honestly before God. Second, recognize that forgiveness is a decision before it's a feeling. You can choose to forgive even when emotions haven't caught up. Third, release your right to revenge, trusting God's promise that vengeance belongs to Him. Fourth, begin to pray blessings over those who hurt you, not because they deserve it, but because you deserve freedom. Finally, look for the purpose in your pain. Ask, God, how are you using this situation to shape me for service? How is this preparing me for my destiny? If you're ready to take these steps toward forgiveness, hit that like button as your declaration of intent. Your breakthrough begins with a decision. Joseph's story powerfully illustrates this truth. Standing before the brothers who sold him into slavery, he declared, "You intended to harm me, but God intended it for good." Joseph recognized that his betrayers were unwitting participants in God's master plan for preservation. Your betrayers, too, are playing a role in God's master plan for your life. Their actions, though painful, are being divinely repurposed to position you for impact beyond what you could have imagined. Before we explore how to stand firm in spiritual warfare, share this video with someone who needs to hear that their pain has purpose and their forgiveness will lead to freedom. Are you beginning to see how forgiveness isn't just a spiritual discipline, but your pathway to purpose? Let's continue. Dear chosen one, make no mistake, you are engaged in spiritual warfare. The opposition you face isn't merely human, it's supernatural. The challenges aren't just circumstantial, they're strategic attacks against your divine purpose. If you've sensed an unusual level of spiritual opposition lately, drop warfare in the comments. Recognizing the battle is half the victory. The enemy's tactics against chosen ones are predictable yet effective. He attacks your identity, whispering that you're not really chosen, that your calling is just your imagination. He magnifies your failures while minimizing your progress. He isolates you from community, knowing that a lion separates the weak from the herd before attacking. Most insidiously, he uses people, often those closest to you, to wound you, discourage you, and distract you from your purpose. These human instruments aren't your true enemies. They're merely pawns in a larger spiritual conflict. Take a moment right now to identify an area where you're experiencing spiritual attack. Share it in the comments so our community can stand with you in prayer. The good news is that God hasn't left you defenseless. You have been equipped with spiritual weapons that are mighty for pulling down strongholds. You have truth to counter lies, righteousness to stand against accusation, peace to walk through chaos, faith to extinguish fiery darts, salvation as your confidence, and the Word as your offensive weapon. Prayer isn't just a religious exercise, it's your direct line to headquarters in the midst of battle. When you pray, you're not just talking to the air. You're activating heavenly resources for earthly conflicts. Building spiritual resilience requires daily disciplines. Renew your mind by replacing lies with truth. Guard your heart by monitoring what you consume. Strengthen your spirit through worship and the Word. These aren't optional activities for the spiritually elite. They're survival tactics for the chosen. If you're committed to strengthening your spiritual disciplines this week, type "stronger" in the comments as your declaration of intent. Perhaps most importantly, recognize that you weren't meant to fight alone. God places fellow warriors alongside you. People who can see your potential when you've lost sight of it, who can speak truth when you're believing lies, who can stand with you when others have walked away. Before we explore how to manifest your God-given dreams, make sure you've subscribed to The Chosen Paths and hit that notification bell. We're building an army of chosen ones who support each other through every battle. Are you ready to stand firm in your calling, knowing that greater is He who is in you than he who is in the world? Let's continue our journey together. Dear chosen one, every chosen vessel carries divine dreams, visions of purpose that seem impossible by human standards, but are entirely possible with God. These aren't mere wishful thinking. They're prophetic glimpses of what God intends to accomplish through your surrendered life. If you're carrying a God-given dream that seems too big for your current reality, type "bigger" in the comments. Your acknowledgement is an act of faith. The first crucial step is discerning divine dreams from personal ambitions. Divine dreams align with God's character and word. They benefit others, not just yourself. They require supernatural intervention, not just human effort. And importantly, they often persist through seasons of discouragement when mere ambitions would fade. Joseph's dreams weren't just about personal elevation, they were about preservation during famine. Moses' calling wasn't just about personal freedom, it was about national deliverance. Your dreams, too, are connected to a purpose larger than personal success. Take a moment to reflect. Is your dream about building your kingdom or advancing God's? Share your honest assessment in the comments. Vulnerability creates community. Activating your spiritual gifts is essential for manifesting these dreams. Every chosen one has been equipped with specific abilities designed to fulfill their unique calling. These aren't just natural talents, but supernatural endowments that operate beyond human capacity. To identify your gifts, look for what comes naturally to you that others find difficult. What creates unusual results when you apply it? What brings you deep fulfillment when you engage in it? What others consistently affirm in you? If you've identified your primary spiritual gift, share it in the comments to inspire others who might have similar giftings. The path to manifesting your dreams will inevitably include obstacles. Some will be external opposition from others, limited resources, closed doors. Others will be internal fear, doubt, unworthiness. These obstacles aren't signs to abandon your dreams. They're invitations to deepen your dependence on God. Remember David facing Goliath. The obstacle wasn't just a giant. It was the fear that paralyzed an entire army. Your greatest obstacles may not be your circumstances, but the limiting beliefs that keep you from confronting them. The power of persistence cannot be overstated. Abraham waited decades for his promised son. Joseph endured years in prison before his dreams were fulfilled. Your timeline may not match God's, but His promises never fail. Persistence isn't stubbornness, it's faith in action over time. Before we move to our conclusion, if this message is helping you see your dreams through God's eyes, please hit that like button and share it with someone whose dreams need divine perspective. Are you beginning to see how even your wildest dreams are within reach when you recognize they originated with God? Let's bring this journey to a powerful conclusion. Dear Chosen One, we've journeyed together through understanding your divine selection, embracing your true identity, navigating the painful path, choosing forgiveness, standing firm in spiritual warfare, and manifesting your God-given dreams. Now it's time to rise up and walk in the fullness of who you are, a chosen vessel with divine purpose. If this message has sparked a new determination in your spirit, type "I will rise" in the comments as your declaration of intent. Let's recap the powerful truths we've uncovered. You were chosen by God before time began, not because of your perfection, but for His purpose. Your identity is secure, regardless of who betrays you or what challenges you face. The painful path you've walked isn't punishment, it's preparation for a purpose that requires uncommon strength. Forgiveness isn't optional for chosen ones. It's the essential response that unlocks your freedom and fulfills your destiny. Spiritual warfare is real, but you've been equipped with weapons that guarantee victory when properly deployed. Your God-given dreams aren't just possible, they're inevitable when you persist in faith and activate your spiritual gifts. Take a screenshot of these truths as a reminder for the days when your purpose feels distant or your pain feels overwhelming. The promise of vindication stands firm for every chosen one. Like Joseph standing before his brothers, like David taking the throne, like Esther saving her people, your moment of divine reversal is coming. What others meant for harm, God is transforming into good. What seemed like rejection is being repurposed as redirection toward your true calling. Your satisfaction will never be found in revenge or in the approval of those who once rejected you. It will be found in the presence of the one who chose you, in the fulfillment of the purpose He designed specifically for you. If this message has blessed you, please subscribe to The Chosen Pathsy, hit that notification bell, and share this video with someone who needs to be reminded of their chosen status. Rise up, Chosen One. Forgive those who are part of God's plan. Walk in the authority of your divine selection. Manifest the dreams God has placed within you. Your time of vindication is coming.